losing a jiu-jitsu match that the guy swept you past your guard, got the mounts and choke you out, and did that 3 times, you know. So the bill comes, you know, I think this is the main point, the bill comes. Guys, today I got a very interesting question here from one user. He asked like, Bernardo, what advice you would give to someone who is struggling with alcohol but wants to stay consistent with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? And he asked if I have worked with anyone that had addictions. I'm not going to mention his name just for privacy, but he's a white belt, 40 years old, and he lives here in the United States. So guys, thanks so much for the question. It's a great question. And I think like Jiu-Jitsu is going to be one of your best weapons against your addiction, because in my opinion, Jiu-Jitsu is very fair on a way where if you don't eat well, if you don't be careful with your body, if you don't rest well, everything comes, you have to pay the debt in the training, you know, like. So for example, if you drink a lot in one night and you go train Jiu-Jitsu in the next day, you might get your ass kicked, you know, like you go train in the morning, you're feeling like hangover and this and that. So the bill comes, you know, I think this is the main point, the bill comes. I think it's very different than you drink a lot at night and then next morning you wake up and go do some jogging. I mean, like, there's nobody trying to beat you, right? So you might feel okay. You might feel like, oh, I can drink again tonight, you know, like. But in Jiu-Jitsu, if you don't really be careful with what you eat, what you drink, how much you rest with your body in general, the bill might really come, you know, like. So I think like Jiu-Jitsu is gonna be one of the best tools you will have to make sure that it counterbalance what you're doing wrong, which is the drinking, you know, like. And I always say this, but for example, I think like if you do Jiu-Jitsu, you have to almost like set up a routine on your life to make sure that you can maximize your trainings. For example, if you sleep 5 hours per day and you go train Jiu-Jitsu at night, you might feel very tired, and then that guy that used to train very well might kick your ass, you know, like. And then next night you're gonna have an incentive to sleep much earlier, you know, like. So I'm a huge advocate for Jiu-Jitsu to really change people's lives in this way, you know, like making sure that you create more discipline, making sure that you have a very big incentive to do the right things, you know, like. I don't know how many times like I eat crap one day before, or even not the day before, like hours before the training, and then during the training I was feeling like a little lazy, feeling a little down. And then now I have to be careful what I eat before the class, meaning like I have to eat healthier before the class. So I think for someone who has an addiction, Jiu-Jitsu can be like a huge incentive to make sure that you overcome that, you know, like. And I think like we as humans, we are all moved by incentives. Most of the things that we do in life is because we have the incentive to do this. Even when you go to a trip for vacation, you have the incentive to go see a place that you've never seen before, so you get excited, you know, like. And I think in Jiu-Jitsu you're gonna have the incentive to make sure that you want to have a good training class and that, and then you're gonna make sure to try to make your life appropriate for that, you know, like. So I think this is a really good question. This can help a lot of people, and not only with the alcohol addiction, with any other addiction, including sugar, you know, like. If you eat so much sugar and you get a lot of fat on your body, that's gonna relate when you're training, you know, like. When you're training, that means that you might be overweight and you're not gonna do as well as if you were fit and this and that. So you might have an incentive to eat less sugar, you know, like. If you go sleep very late and your training is in the morning, that's also gonna affect you, you know, like, and this and that. So I think Jiu-Jitsu helps us a lot in order to put our life in line and this and that, and this and that, and make sure that you have like a disciplined, good life, and then you can get the results that you want on the mats. I don't think any other sport, not any other, but I think most of the sports are not like that, you know, like. And for example, and Jiu-Jitsu also has this ego effect that we're all humans, we all have egos, and you don't want to do bad in training. And when you get your ass kicked by someone, I'm not gonna say that's humiliating, but you don't feel good, you know, like. And I think it's different than when you go play pickleball and you lose to someone, or you go play tennis and you lose to someone. I think there's a difference between losing a tennis match versus losing a jiu-jitsu match that the guy swept you past your guard, got the mounts and choked you out, and did that 3 times, you know, like. I think we care a lot more by the jiu-jitsu loss than other sports losses. And that helps us to make sure that we live a good life, that we eat well, we rest well, we don't drink as much, we try to stay in a good shape, and everything that can relate to that. And I feel so sorry that you're going through this. And I think, like, try to stick with jiu-jitsu, you know, like. I don't think anything in life doesn't come overnight. So I don't think it's gonna overnight that you're gonna be able to stop your addiction through jiu-jitsu. But I can almost bet with you that if you stick with jiu-jitsu, maybe you don't even kill the addiction, but you're gonna decrease the amount of drinks you do, just because it's gonna be almost impossible. I don't know how much you drink, but let's imagine you drink a lot. You drink like 10 cans of beers per day. This is gonna change, you know. It's gonna be really hard to maintain a routine where you train jiu-jitsu like 5 days a week and you train that much every single day, you know, like your body is not gonna handle, and your body is gonna ask you to stop. And then the question becomes, like, what do you like more? Do you like drinking more, or do you like jiu-jitsu more? But then you should also put in the scale here, like, what are the benefits that jiu-jitsu brings to your life, and what's the benefits that drinking brings to your life, you know, like. And every now and then, like, my wife, we shouldn't go train jiu-jitsu tonight and stay with us here. And I always tell her, I say, like, hey, it's much better that I'm going to jiu-jitsu than I'm going to a bar, you know, like. So anyways, I think that I hope that helps you. I feel so sorry that you're going through this, but I can almost, like, bet with you that if you stick with jiu-jitsu, if you train jiu-jitsu consistently, you might at least fix your addiction or completely kill your addiction. And I think it's going to be a great thing to your life. I think every time we hear that kind of thing, like, oh, jiu-jitsu changed my life, people are talking about that. Maybe it's not even this addiction, this addiction, it's not even the alcohol, but maybe it's like not having self-confidence. And then once you start jiu-jitsu, build the self-confidence. You're almost like addicted on not having any self-confidence, or maybe not knowing how to socialize. And then in jiu-jitsu, you're kind of forced to socialize. Or maybe addiction on sugar, or maybe like you just don't have any routine, and then jiu-jitsu is going to create the routine for you. So anyways, jiu-jitsu is a great thing. I think you found the perfect tool to fix your addiction, and try to stick with it, because I think you're going to get a lot of benefits on your life and you're not going to regret. Also, again, thanks so much for the question. You're just in the beginning of your journey, you're just white belt. Keep doing it. Things will just get better. And I hope to see you as a black belt one day without drinks. Us. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.